What's up guys, my name is Hans Wouters and today I'm making a video for everyone who wants to buy a longboard but doesn't really know what longboard he should buy or what longboard she should buy and who wants some tips on it. So hit that like button already and we're gonna get started. Alright, so the first thing you have to know if you want to buy a longboard is that there are so many styles of longboarding, so naturally there are also a lot of different types of longboards. The main styles of longboarding are downhilling, sliding, freestyling, dancing and cruising. The first two, downhilling and sliding, aren't my specialty. I will link some tips in the description to other videos that are dedicated to that, of people who know more about it than me. The thing I know about is freestyle and dancing and also a bit of carving and cruising and stuff. But then again, even in longboard freestyle and dance there are many types of longboards, so I'm just gonna give you some tips on what you should buy, what you should look for. I'm not gonna give you specific brands to buy, so if someone is trying to sell you something, that you can make a decision that is based upon some information, and I'm gonna deliver you as much as I can in this video. Alright, there are a couple of key points that I'm going to tell you about that you want to pay attention to when you buy a board. These are pretty much the most important things when you're buying a board, and the first of them is the shape of your boards. I'm going to break the shape down into pieces too, but first, like the shape of your board, if you think about it, if you walk down the streets and you see longboarders or you go in line, you immediately find out there are so many types of shapes of boards. If you want to do freestyling or dancing, you'll probably want to do tricks too. And for tricks, what do you need? You need a kicktail. So the kicktail is something that is very important. It is, I'm going to demonstrate it here. So it is this part of the board, the part that is sticking out of the trucks, so that is behind the trucks. If you have a kicktail, then you can pop tricks, because then you can slap that board on the ground and then the board will fly up, of course, making you do tricks. A lot of boards have only one kicktail, and the thing is that it is great for cruising down the street and stuff.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4",
because you only need one kicktail then. But if you want to do freestyle lines or dancing lines, you want to have two of them ideally, because your board will be switching like directions and stuff. So if you only have one kicktail, you're limiting the amount of tricks you can do when you're standing on your boards, and you never want that to happen. So two kicktails is something I would totally recommend. Then something else about the shape is that some boards are symmetrical, some aren't symmetrical. When you have a board that is not symmetrical, it's kind of the same thing as having only one kicktail. For me, I prefer symmetrical boards, since I don't want to pay attention to how my board is turning or something. I just want my board to be able to do as much tricks in every situation as possible. So when I'm coming up with freestyle or dancing lines, I don't want to think about how my tail is going to be. If I have a symmetrical board, my two tails are identical. If it's not symmetrical, my one tail will be smaller than the other or something, and then in my mind it will change the way I do tricks, and I would be like, oh, I can do a big spin better on the big tail or something, so I want to have that tail over there. And I don't want to think about all that. I just want a symmetrical board for ideal dancing and freestyle lines. There are a lot of people that would prefer asymmetrical boards. It is all preference, just like everything I'm talking to you about. It's all preference, man. If you want one kicktail, if you want to add symmetrical boards, it is totally fine, but it's just a recommendation for me that you have to think about. Think about if you're going to be like me, you're going to be like, nah, I want to do that, no, comply with that tail and not with that tail, then just get a symmetrical board. It will save you a lot of effort and a lot of struggling. Alright, next point about the shape is the concave. The concave is of course pretty important, but not that important, since you will just get used to every type of concave. It's all preference. Something that is important or that can be very helpful is a kicktail that goes up, because then it will enable you to pop your tricks higher. So if you want to do crazy tricks, then a kicktail that goes up might be helpful. For example, if you have a pintail board, you can do a lot of tricks with a pintail, with a tail that's not going up. It's all preference, it's all just practice and getting used to it, man. Alright, then next up, the next next key point, the next very important point that you want to pay attention to when you buy a board is the size of your board. I'm going to give you all the information that I have about sizes and different types of sizes and what they will influence you. So yeah, let's start it. The first thing that the size influences is your ability to learn tricks. And I have to be careful with this because it's a very touchy subject, of course. So pay attention to what I say before you go into the comments like, oh no, it's not true. Alright, so chill. What I mean with this is that if you have a longer board, it will take you more time to master a trick. If you want to do a trick for the first time ever, it will be easier in a shorter board. This is pretty logical, of course, but some people get mad over this if you say it, so be chill about it. Because it's also not like if you can do a trick on a longer board that you are better than someone who can do it on a shorter board. It's all about style, of course. It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. But yeah, if you have a gigantic board, like a dancer, like my dancer, it is harder to learn new tricks on it. Because of course the board is longer, so it takes more time to turn. If you want to try a big spin, the whole board has to do a 360, man. You need more air time when you do it, you need to pop it harder. It's quite a bit heavier also than a shorter board, so these are just a couple of factors that will influence the way your board will turn and spin and flip. So if you want to learn a lot of tricks and you're not that into long gigantic boards like I am, then you should just get a freestyle board, man. That's totally fine, it's a lot of fun too. Second thing that influences is your ability to dance. If you want to do a lot of dancing, then a longer board gives you more room to dance. It gives you a lot of space to do all crazy steps and steps and steps, while on the shorter boards you have less room. You just can't put your feet over each other or something, and it can be harder to do some crazy dancing variations or dancing lines when you have a board that is pretty short, so you want to keep that in mind. Then the third thing that the length of your board influences is the way it carves, the way it turns around. If you have a small board, then the wheelbase is smaller, so it will turn quicker. It will make smaller carves. In general, this is true. It will make shorter carves. Of course, a shorter board can make shorter turns. Words, man, I'm struggling with them. So anyways, the shorter board will make shorter turns, and you will feel this if you ride it. It will be more direct, it will be more turny, rather than a longer board will feel smoother. It will feel more like a surfy feeling, like left to right, and this is the most important factor for me. For me, it is the reason why I prefer my Royal Tribe over my Mini Tribe, just because I prefer that surfy feeling. I really love that smooth feeling of going left to right. On top of all the other things that it influences, I prefer each and every one of them. So that's why I choose a longer board. The fourth thing that the size of your board influences is the mobility of it. So if you have to carry your board around a lot, if you use it to go to school, you have to hop in trains and stuff, and you're not certain about holding a gigantic board, then of course a smaller board would be ideal for you. But yeah, if you just use it as a hobby, if you want to cruise down your street and learn tricks, then this isn't important, but for some people this might be a very important point. That was pretty much it for the size of your boards. If you have more questions, leave them in the comment section and help each other out. I always love seeing that. Then the next point of attention is drop through versus top mounts. Top mount is when you put your trucks underneath your board and you mount it just like a skateboard or something. Drop through is when the truck is going through the boards and you mount it like that. It pretty much looks like this. So top mount versus drop through is always a big discussion, but yeah, for me it's all preference. Both of them are equally good. I prefer top mounts since I am a dancer. I dance a lot, I love freestyling in dancing. The thing is with drop through is that there's like this metal plate popping up above your boards, and I want my boards to be like this. So I want it to be a perfect smooth surface so I can dance and don't mind the trucks or something. A lot of people don't mind. I probably wouldn't mind if I get used to it. But yeah, that's just how I skate. That's just what I prefer. Something else is that top mount is a little bit higher in general, so you can pop it a bit more, so you have more leverage. But for me, the biggest pro for drop through is that it is actually lower to the ground, like I already said. So if you're pushing, you don't have to go to your knee that much. So if you're planning on buying a board just for cruising and using it to cross distances, to go from A to B and stuff, then I would recommend considering a drop through, because your legs will thank you for that. Okay, and then the next key point is the flex type. The flex type is of course just the way your board flexes. That's a pretty logical name, of course. And yeah, there's not that much to say about it. It's all preference, just like anything. But if you're beginning at longboarding, if you don't know what flex you prefer, just look up some information, ask people like the board company or something, like, hi, I weigh this much, I don't know what the flex type I should get, can you give me some information about the weights? Like pretty much every board company that sells variable flexes has some information on what flex is ideal for what weight, so just ask them, don't be afraid to ask them, and you'll be alright, man. So that's pretty much all the information you need if you want to buy a new board. If you're a beginner with a board, I hope this information will help you buy a board that fits you, and I really hope you have a lot of fun skating it, man, because of course it's all about skating it. Everything else doesn't matter that much, it's just the fun you have skating. If you're beginning at longboard, you definitely don't have to buy the most expensive board out there, just any cheap board will do. I also started on one of the cheapest boards on the store and I've never regretted that. It's just about having fun with it. If you have more questions, feel free to leave it in the comments section. I will be happy to try to answer all of them. You guys can also pass your wisdom in the comments section if someone is asking something. I always love seeing people help each other out. So definitely subscribe if you're into longboarding, if you have as much stoke as I do, because man, I love it. I make weekly videos. This is a little extra video to help you guys out. I make weekly montages, days in the lives, games of skates, unboxing videos, crazy stuff. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao. Piece of wood carved out of the wood. Man, so there's a little piece of big decision.